The real battlefield is the moment right after you want to quit. That's where the Stoic discipline kicks in. It's not about ignoring pain or pretending you're invincible. It's about recognizing the mind's protective voice and politely refusing to listen just for one more step. Epictetus wrote, "People are not disturbed, music, by things, but by the views they take of them." The mind, in its rush to protect you, becomes your jailer. But in that exact moment when you feel spent, discouraged, ready to collapse, music you can ask, is this truly my limit or just the limit my mind wants me to believe? Here's the truth. The line your mind draws in the sand is only real if you respect it. Most of the time, you can step right over it and nothing bad happens. In fact, you might discover you have more power than you ever imagined. Mistakes men make. We tell ourselves, I don't have what it takes. I'll never be as tough, as successful, as disciplined as that guy. We believe the lie that struggle means we're weak, but Stoicism offers a different frame. Pain and fatigue are simply the threshold. Beyond that is growth, resilience, music, and self-respect. Let's use an image. Think of your comfort zone as a well-lit room on a cold night. You know every corner. It's familiar, safe, and undemanding. But nothing ever grows there. Outside the door is the dark, the wind, and a path you can't see the end of. The first step is bitter, but step by step your senses sharpen. You learn you can handle more than you thought. I once knew a man ordinary in every way, who began to walk after work every evening, rain or shine. At first he'd quit after 10 minutes, telling himself it was enough, but he remembered this rule. The next night he walked 12, then 15. Months passed, the walk became a run. He finished a marathon 2 years later, not because he was gifted, but because he stopped trusting the voice that said, "You're done." So, what's the Stoic answer? Don't chase suffering for its own sake, but when you meet resistance, pause and ask, is this music real or just my mind's old story? The 40% rule is not a command to go until you break. It's a reminder that most of us quit far too early in every area of life, work, relationships, health, and dreams. In the end, the obstacle is rarely the body or the world outside. It's the invisible ceiling you put above your own head. Tomorrow, when you feel your mind screaming for relief during that workout, that hard conversation, that moment you want to check out, remember you're not at your limit. You're just at the edge of comfort. The real you begins where comfort ends. Tell yourself, I have more to give. Tonight, add just one more rep. Take one more step. Stay in the moment just a little longer than you want to. Music, then see who you become. And remember, limits are often nothing more than well-practiced music beliefs. You get to decide whether to obey them. Jar of Victory Memories. 3. Jar of Victory Memories. There's an old jar on the shelf of your mind. Maybe you've never noticed it. It collects dust half forgotten. But on the hardest days, the days when nothing goes right and your self-belief is running on empty, that jar holds the difference between despair, music, and resilience. Have you ever sat at the kitchen table late at night replaying your failures in your head? The presentation that fell flat, music, the argument you regret, the job you lost, or the father you wish you'd been. The mind replays its low points with brutal precision. Odd, isn't it? The defeats stick. The little music victories vanish. Why do we remember what went wrong and so easily forget what went right? Here's the paradox. The harder you judge yourself, the more you erase your progress. The more you chase some distant ideal, the less you see what's right here, what you've overcome. It's like running uphill, eyes locked on the peak, never glancing back to see how far you've come. Not because you're weak, not because you lack music discipline or drive. It's a simple mental habit, a bias toward the negative, wired by survival instinct and reinforced by modern life. The world teaches men to measure themselves by music, their gaps and shortcomings, not their growth. But this music isn't the full story. The Stoics knew it. So does anyone who spent time in real struggle. You can't build courage, hope, or inner strength on a diet of self-criticism. You must at some point learn to notice and honor your own steps forward. This isn't about self-congratulation. It's about music balance, about remembering you have in fact faced storms before and music found a way through. You carry the proof if only you're willing to look for it. David Goggins, a man forged by hardship and relentless music discipline, calls this his cookie jar. When he hit the wall during Navy SEAL training, Hell Week, music, with its pain and humiliation, its endless hours of running and freezing water, he reached into that jar in Don't Skip. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. Marcus Aurelius. In a world that shifts beneath our feet, where every headline brings new uncertainties and every day tempts us with easy distractions, we all at some point search for the secret to resilience, freedom, and lasting success. Maybe you know this search well. Maybe you've woken up heavy with disappointment after a defeat you can't quite shake, or carried silent scars from battles no one else sees. The noise of modern life tells us to chase more, to run faster, to hide our pain beneath achievement. But the ancient wisdom of Stoicism offers a different path. Happiness and strength are not granted, music, by circumstance, but forged in how we choose to respond when the world turns against us. The story of David Goggins, once broken, now unbreakable, embodies this Stoic spirit. His journey through pain, self-doubt, and relentless adversity is not just an inspiration, it's a practical map. The 6 strategies he practiced are not reserved for heroes. They are real hard-won lessons for anyone who has ever been lost, tired, or searching for a way out. Here, in the quiet clarity of Stoic thought, is where true change begins. 1. Accountability mirror. Accountability mirror. Stand in front of your mirror and look yourself in the eyes for 5 minutes. What goes through your mind? What do you truly see in the reflection? Write those thoughts down. Later, sit with them. Discuss with yourself. This is not a trick. It's the first real step toward changing anything. There are moments when you wake up, walk into your bathroom, and pause for a second before the mirror. You stare at your own tired face. Maybe you notice a few extra pounds or the worry lines have gotten deeper since last music year. And in that silent space you wonder, who is this person looking back at me? Is he really who I set out to become? Have I made peace with him? Have I run from the truth? Or have I finally faced it head on? Strangely, the harder we try to avoid discomfort, the more it seems to follow us. The more we try to appear strong on the outside, the emptier we can feel on the inside. It's a paradox. The mirror doesn't lie, but music we do to ourselves all the time. The real problem isn't that you're weak or lacking discipline. The real problem is the mind's natural urge to protect us from pain, even when that pain music is the only thing that can wake us up. Life is less about what happens to you and more about what you do in response. This topic isn't about blaming yourself for what you aren't. It's about music, radical self-awareness. Seeing yourself exactly as you are, no more, no less, and then choosing what to do music with that truth. You'll learn how to use the accountability mirror to train your mind for any challenge. We'll go through 3 practical questions, some uncomfortable honesty, music, and the difference between self-awareness and self-pity. If you're willing to look honestly, really honestly, don't look away. The Stoic core principle here is simple. Self-mastery begins with self-awareness. If you refuse to see yourself clearly, you will never gain control. So, let's make it practical. There are so many areas in your life you can take ownership of. But to start, music, write down these 3 questions on sticky notes and put them on your mirror. Are you the man you want to be? Why not? Are you proud of the man you see in the mirror? Why not? Have you achieved what you wanted, music, in life? Why not? It's one thing to think about these, it's another to face them morning after morning, looking yourself straight in the eye. I can't stress this enough. Be ruthlessly honest with music yourself. This isn't about shaming or beating yourself up. That only traps you in the same cycle. It's about not sugarcoating reality. If you've gained too much weight, say it out loud. You've let yourself go. Music. If you're being lazy, admit it. You're sitting on your potential. Stop blaming work, family, genetics, and the weather. Drop the excuses. You might hear a voice inside music whispering, "It's okay, last month was rough, you deserve that beer tonight." But what if that's just another way to run from responsibility? What if comfort is costing you the life you truly want? Accountability, music, means action. Did you mess up today? Stand in front of the mirror and don't let music yourself off the hook too easily, but also don't lose yourself in music regret. Instead, commit to doing better tomorrow. This is a discipline. Do it every day. Over time, your music learn to tell the truth, even when it's hard. Think of David Goggins. He was overweight, angry, music, and stuck in self-pity, blaming his past and his circumstances. Everything changed the day he stood in front of the mirror, called himself out, and admitted the hard truth. He was the problem, but he could also, music, be the solution.